It's Mo here. In the next 2 minutes, I'm going to cover three things. One, why Salesforce personalization programs in the automotive industry oftentimes break. Two, how in a recent project we fixed it using Salesforce Data Cloud and Salesforce Marketing Cloud products. And finally, three, we'll end with a couple of takeaways that you can apply with your team to focus on personalization problems in the automotive industry. Here's the problem. Teams buy into the idea that Marketing Cloud is automatically going to deliver personalization. Like you click a button and all of a sudden personalization is working. But the reality is that Marketing Cloud or any other platform like that is really only as smart as the data you're feeding into it. Specifically in automotive, what I see oftentimes is that the data coming into Salesforce is late or inconsistent. Customer identities don't resolve cleanly. And the segment logic becomes untrustworthy. One person starts showing up as multiple profiles, and they end up getting different responses. They end up getting duplicate sends, broken suppressions, and journeys that feel random instead of relevant. So what can you do about this? These learnings are specifically from an automotive program that I recently worked on. First thing was mindset. Instead of treating Salesforce like three separate products, we started to treat Salesforce like a connected ecosystem. From a lot of the Salesforce material nowadays, this is really the proper way to do it. Step one, we anchored everything in the Salesforce Data Cloud as the source of truth for marketing activation. We defined a minimum set of data needed for specific outcomes, like test drive conversion, abandoned build price re-engagement, lease end retention. And then what we did is we designed the data model around those specific use cases. The second step was we got identity resolution right by utilizing the data cloud. And we did that by establishing a clear hierarchy of identifiers and matching rules so a person could be recognized across web experiences, in-app experiences, or email and paid media. Once the identity resolution was stable, what we found was that segments stopped drifting and teams stopped arguing about counts, right? You had the identity resolved across platforms. Step three, we tightened the integration layer, feeding data into the data cloud. Instead of a bunch of point-to-point connections sprawling into the marketing cloud, Salesforce makes it very easy to set up individual API connections. Instead of doing that, we utilized a middleware platform called MuleSoft that's now also part of the Salesforce ecosystem to standardize events, do field normalization, and manage the governance around APIs, handle retries if there's submission issues, and eventually do things like master data management and monitoring data quality. The goal for this MuleSoft initiative was simple: clean data in, reliable segments out. Let's streamline this a little bit. The fourth and final step was we built compliance into the activation flow. In an automotive context, you're operationalizing laws like the California Consumer Privacy Act and the updates to that regulation. So that means things like opt-outs, purpose limitations, and the ability to show what data was used for marketing and where the consent was that's tied to that activation. So we implemented essentially a consent-driven segmentation and activation specifically in Data Cloud and made sure that Marketing Cloud journeys respected those flags by default. So now all of a sudden, all of your compliance and governance rules are baked in. I think when Salesforce Data Cloud is the foundation, the Marketing Cloud simply becomes an activation layer. And when you try and combine the business logic around activation and campaigns with your governance logic, it starts to get very complicated all at once. Bringing together identity, integration, and consent into more of this upstream manner, personalization then becomes significantly faster and, more importantly, safer and more consistent. To recap, Salesforce personalization projects tend to fail when the data cloud isn't trusted. The fix is that the data cloud can only become the source of truth for marketing if there's strong identity resolution, disciplined ingestion, integration, and consent-based activation that the marketing cloud simply executes. That's really what it takes today to win with Salesforce marketing personalization, especially in the automotive industry.